everybody. Glen Kuiper here. What is going on? We are set for a post-game edition of the Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants. I hope you're having a nice Labor Day. The Giants certainly had a good Labor Day. We're going to talk a lot about that today. You know the drill, folks. Hit me with your comments and your questions, and feel free to subscribe. We love that. You guys have been great. My subscribers list is growing quickly. And I have to thank you guys for that. Hit the like button, and I think you're going to enjoy today's show. This is what we're going to cover. We'll obviously cover today's game, which was an 8-2 final win over the Rockies. So we'll talk about that. Another really good all-around performance. We'll hit on that. I have some Coors Field memories, one specific one, actually, and then one about baseball in Denver, which I wanted to throw out there for you guys. See if you remember the game that I'm going to talk about. I have a feeling that you do. And then, because if you remember, when we get to the end of the month, and it is September 1st today, what happens is I like to update who I think is going to win the American League, National League MVP, and Cy Young awards. We've been doing that all summer long. So since August is over and now we're into September, I will tell you who I think is the favorite to win those 4 awards after 5 months of the season. Season's still not over yet, but we've been doing that all summer long. It's kind of fun. Look at the statistics and see who I think is the front runner going into the final month of the season. So that is what we're going to cover. I also want to let you know that the guys are working really hard behind the scenes, and they're throwing out videos on my YouTube channel. There's some new ones that just came out in the last day or so. There's another Friday Night Kipes video coming out. It's when when Dwayne and I had Ron Wotus as our guest a couple weeks ago. So that is going to be out audio only as we continue to put the Friday Night Kipes shows out there, which have been great. This one Ron Wotus was terrific. All our guests have been great. In fact, Friday night after the Giants game, we had Hunter Pence on. And how great was that? Fans loved him. So at some point in the near future, we will get that out as well. But so the Friday Night Kipes is out with Ron Wotus. That's good. And the videos that have been coming out have been great. FP was on last week. We got some good stuff from him. So all good. So check out the channel, The Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants, and check out all the videos. I think you're going to like them. So before we get started, let's do our due diligence with the sponsor. Since 1978, the Kehrig real estate team has been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or making your first home purchase, trust the Kehrig real estate team to guide you home. Contact Mike Kehrig today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. You can call Mike at 925-548-4132 and go to their website, kehrigteam.com. And we are also brought to you by the good people at Tilden Properties. As an investor, one of the best places to place your money is California's multifamily real estate. By investing with Tilden Properties, you'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. Bay Area based and family owned, Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. You can contact them at 925-209-8558. And I urge you to go to their website and look at their portfolio. It is extremely impressive. Go to tildenproperties.com. So we thank Tilden Properties and the Kehrig real estate team for sponsoring the Glen Kuiper Show, All Giants. All right, let's get to the goodies from today. Giants win 8-2. They're playing very good baseball, maybe a little bit too late, but they are playing good baseball. They have won 8 games, 8 out of their last 9. 8-2 was the final today. So they get back to the 500 mark at 69-69. Unfortunately, a couple teams ahead of them. The Mets won today. The Cincinnati Reds won today. Reds scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th and beat the Blue Jays. So the 2 teams that are directly ahead of the Giants for this final wild card spot, which, listen, it is a long shot, but the Giants are still alive and they're playing good baseball. But the Mets did win, so the Giants stay 5 back of the Mets for that final wild card spot. And you have to remember the Mets also have the tiebreaker. So technically, the Giants are 6 back because they cannot finish in a tie. A tie will not get it done at the end of the year. So a lot of work to do for the Giants, but we're still having fun with it, and they are playing good baseball. But so the numbers say 24 games left to play for the Giants, whatever the final win total that is needed to get that third and final wild card spot. We obviously don't know, but just to play with the numbers a little bit, if the Giants wanted to get 86 wins, if they thought 86 was enough, which it's probably not, but if they got to 86 wins, that means they would have to go 17-7 in the final 24 games. Not easy to do. If they wanted to get to 87 wins, they'd have to go 18-6. If they wanted to get to 88 wins, they'd have to go 19-5. So simple math there. If you're thinking, well, how many wins would they have to get? Listen, they have to just keep winning games. And it is an extreme long shot that they could get into that third wild card spot, but they are still alive, as I said, and they're playing good baseball. So, let's give them their due there. But again, 8-2 the final this afternoon. I think maybe the big story, and we'll cover it all with the offense and all that, but let's give a good shout out to Kai Tang, who was a starting pitcher today. He has not looked great this year. He had really one good outing. He's had some really tough starts, but he was really good today. The young man went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits and a couple of runs, but he didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 8. Those were 2 big numbers for me because you can't walk people at Coors Field, and you don't want if you can strike people out, that's the best way to navigate through at Coors Field because you put the ball in play there and it's got a chance to be a base hit. So Kai Tang was terrific today. It was just his 4th start. He got off to a good start. He had a quick first inning, but the breaking ball was pretty good. He's got a pretty good breaking ball, and it's not always the case that you have a good breaking ball at Coors Field. It's just a tough place to spin the baseball. But he did a pretty good job today, and that is a good pitch for him. So the young man deserves a lot of credit. He has struggled, but he was really good today. And I don't care what the lineup looks for the Rockies. That is a difficult place to pitch. And the young man, he did his thing, and he was really good. A couple other things that stood out for me behind Tang and the 2 relievers that came in, Piguero and Wynn, they finished it up. But the defense was really good today for the Giants. They turned 3 double plays. They made a couple other nice plays. And I just thought the way they won today is kind of the way you have to go about it at Coors Field. You have to play good defense. It is just a must. You cannot allow extra outs to the Rockies, no matter what their lineup looks like. You just can't do it in that ballpark. We've seen it too many times. Everybody watching the show has seen the Giants at Coors Field for many, many years. Not just the Giants, any team. When you start giving them extra outs or walking people, that's when innings get out of hand. All of a sudden, the bases are loaded and nobody out, and a 1-run inning turns into a 4-run inning. It happens all the time there. So the best way to combat that is play good defense. Don't walk anybody. And the Giants did not walk anybody today. Joel Piguero came in an inning and 2/3, and Keaton Wynn 2 innings. Neither of those guys walked anybody. And as I said, Tang didn't walk anybody either. So that's a big deal. Play good defense. Don't walk anybody. And then, listen, 3 double plays turned by the Giants. And if you think about double plays at Coors Field, I mean, that's huge. It's huge anywhere in any game, but because that ballpark is just weird and things get out of hand there, if you can get 2 outs on 1 ball put in play in that ballpark, huge. So everything fit defensively and pitching wise today for the Giants. The way they went about it is how you have to go about it at Coors Field. Play good defense, don't walk anybody, turn some double plays, and offensively, you hit the ball to the ballpark, and the Giants did that. And we'll get to the offense in a minute. But the last point on the Giants pitching and their defense, the Rockies gave up 13 hits. And yeah, that's a lot, but that's what happens in that ballpark. You are going to get hits and you're going to give up hits. The infield is hard. The balls shoot through the infield. Ground balls pick up speed. I'm telling you. I've talked to guys who have played on that infield. They said it's not just that, the elevation thing where the ball flies. Obviously, that is a big deal, but the infield is hard. Balls get through the infield quicker, and the outfield is huge. So the reality is, just almost naturally, outfielders play a little bit deeper. There's more room in the outfield. Balls drop in more. It's just a recipe for offense. It's just some big old recipe for a lot of hits. So you're going to give up hits there, but you can't walk people and you can't give them extra bases. Giants did not do that today, and that's a big reason why they won the game. Because, man, it's a 6-2 lead or an 8-2 lead, that can disappear like that at Coors Field, and we've all seen it too many times. So, all in all, it was a really good performance on that side of the ball. On the defensive side, on the pitching side, they did a great job. And when the Rockies did put runners on base, double plays helped and some big outs helped. So all in all, again, that side of the ball, as we like to say, was very, very good. Now let's look at the box score from the game. I kept score, which is fun. So Ramos, let's see, Ramos had a 1 for 5, had a base hit in the third inning. He was on base a couple times. Devers had another big game. Devers was 2 for 4, had the home run in the first inning, and we'll talk about this when we get through with the box score. But Devers also had a base hit late in the game. He scored a couple of runs, so he was 2 for 4. He's now got 29 home runs. Adames, he's hot as well, 2 for 4, 2-run homer. He had 3 RBIs. Dominic Smith had a hit, 1 for 5. Chapman was 0 for 4. Jung-Hoo Lee was on base 3 times. He had a fielder's choice, a walk, and a base hit, so he was 1 for 3. Casey Schmidt was 0 for 3, and he left the game after getting 0 for 2, He was hit by a pitch. But the good news there is the x-rays were negative. He got hit by the pitch on his right elbow, which as a right-handed hitter would be his back elbow. And Bob Melvin, after the game, just said it just kind of hit it square. It hits that funny bone, and your whole arm goes numb, and you feel like your arm's going to fall off. But the x-rays were negative, so that's good news for Casey Schmidt. Patrick Bailey, he was 0 for 3, but he did get hit by a pitch and scored a run. And then a big part of the game today was the youngster Drew Gilbert. Man, is he fun to watch. He had 4 hits, including a 2-run homer. So that's a look at the box scores. All in all, the Giants had 11 hits, 3 home runs, 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position, 19 base runners. That's such a beautiful thing. The Giants, so many games this year, they just have not been able to put runners on base or get anything going. Well, the last, week and a half to 2 weeks, man, they've had base runners all over the place. And it's a beautiful thing to see. So that's a look at the box score from an offensive standpoint. So let's talk about a few things that happened in this game. In the first inning, Devers hits an absolute bullet into the seats down the right field line, 114 miles per hour. And it was just shot right down the line. Dave Fleming didn't even have time to call it. It was going so fast. So that was in the first inning. 29th home run of the year for Devers, his 14th with the Giants. We are now seeing Devers hit the way he hit for 6 years in Boston. He's a terrific offensive player. There was struggles early on, but we're now seeing it. He had 9 home runs in August. And it's fun to see. I mean, it really is fun to see. And his numbers now on the year, folks, and combined with the Red Sox, it's pretty impressive. 29 home runs and 94 RBIs. So he's probably going to get to 30. He's probably going to get to 100 RBIs. And that's what he does. He's a premier run producer. He's a 30-homer, 100 RBI guy. Just look at the back of his baseball card. So what he is doing is that's what this guy's all about. But we're seeing it much more now as a member of the Giants. So that's good. Willie Adames, his 26th home run of the year, that came in the 7th inning. I thought it was kind of a big deal because it it was 6-0, and then the Rockies made it 6-2. And we've seen it. You got to add on at Coors Field because the lead can shrink and go away very quickly. So they gave up 2 to the Giants, but then Adames answered right back with a 2-run homer. And that made it 8-2. So that was big. And Willie Adames continues to do his thing. He had 9 home runs in August, just like Devers did. So those 2 guys, new Giants, we're all expecting a lot from them, and they are now showing what they're all about. The numbers for Adames now, he also had a bases loaded walk today. So he now has 26 home runs and 75 RBIs, and he's going to end up right about where his career marks are. He's going to hit 30 home runs. He's going to knock in, 85 runs, and that's what this guy's all about. So that's the good news. You talked about Kaiwei Tang. So let's get to Drew Gilbert. A super fun day for him. Gilbert was 4 for 4. He had a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning off an old college teammate, Dolander, at Tennessee. Then he walked and scored in the 5th. He walked and scored in the 7th, and he had a base hit in the 9th. So 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. So the last 4 games for Drew Gilbert, and remember, he really struggled early. I want to say it was maybe 1 for 21 or something like that, which is not uncommon for a young kid for the first time in the big leagues. But now, last 4 games, he's 9 for 15 with a homer and 7 RBIs. And we're starting to see what the young man's about offensively. Remember yesterday, he had a 3-hit game, a double and a triple. On Friday night, he had a couple hits, a couple of doubles. So he's just a little guy, but there's some pop there. We saw it with the 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. So it's kind of fun, but there's something about this kid. I mean, you want to talk about playing with fire. I mean, he is a firecracker, right? And I think we all feel the same way, that we don't know what kind of player he's going to be. There are some tools there that we like. It's a very, very small sample size here. But we're starting to see what the Giants liked in him when they got him. Puts the ball in play, which early on he was striking out a little bit more, but he puts the ball in play. He's a very good defensive outfielder, and he's got a very good arm. We don't know if he's an everyday player yet. We don't know if Luis Matos is an everyday player yet. But the point is now you got a couple of young guys who are playing great baseball for you. It's a great problem to have, and we're going to see them for the final 24 games of the year. And it makes you feel better about different possibilities that the Giants may have over the wintertime to improve their outfield. So the Gilbert thing is fun, and man, he is on fire from inning 1 to inning 9. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who plays with fire. He plays like a college kid, if that makes any sense. He plays kind of with that college, like I'm just gonna bust my ass as much as I can. And I think that's what the Giants need. They need a couple guys like that. So I think it's great. I think it's fun. Let's enjoy the young man playing. Let's enjoy what he does. Let's enjoy the fire that he plays with. Let's enjoy what Luis Matos is doing, where now we're starting to see a lot of good things from him. It's a good problem to have. So anyways, Devers homers, Adames homers, Gilbert homers, and all in all, a heck of a day, really, if you think about it from a Giants standpoint. They catch the ball, they pitch well, they hit home runs, and when it's all said and done, they've won 8 out of their last 9. So that's the deal on today's game. Tomorrow, Logan Webb against Kyle Freeland. So Logan Webb takes them out looking for his 13th win of the year. Cy Young candidate. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Kyle Freeland, he's a lefty. That's an issue for the Giants this year, as we all know. But they've also seen Freeland a ton in the last 6 or 7 years. So that's the matchup. Freeland is 3-13. Webb is 12-9. That will be tomorrow, a night game at Coors Field. See if the Giants can you got to do the damage at Coors Field. They're not a good team, and you have to you have to do it here. You can't you got to sweep them. I mean, that's just reality of where you're at. So, but before we kind of move on, I just wanted to throw some stuff about the Rockies out there because something's off, I think, in this organization. They're 39 and 99 now. Worst record in the major leagues, and they're in a rebuilding phase, obviously. They're going to lose 100 games again for the third straight year. And when you look at this franchise, it's a little bit of a puzzling franchise. It's their 33rd year as the Rockies. Remember, they came in as an expansion team in 1993. They've been to the postseason 5 times, so they have not seen a lot of postseason success. They were at the World Series one time. They got swept by the Red Sox in 2007. So in 33 years, they've only been over 500 9 times. So there hasn't been they've had some fun teams, but there hasn't been a huge amount of success. And now they just seem to be in a bigger funk than maybe they've ever been as an organization. We're talking, like I said, 3 straight years of losing 100 games. I don't know that they have a lot coming up. And I mean, they have good prospects, I'm sure, like most teams, but it's a very strange deal with this organization because there's always the problem of how do you win at Coors Field? The altitude's a thing. It's a definite thing. Everybody that plays there will tell you that. I think guys that wear the Rocky uniforms will tell you that. But what's never happened, I think, in the 33 years of this organization is they've never really figured out how can we win in Colorado? Do we pitch? Do we just, try to hit home runs as many as we can and have slugfest and win slugfest with team? Do we just pitch? Do we try to put together a lineup of speedsters that steal bases and don't worry about home runs? Nobody's ever been able to figure it out. And I think the concern then becomes, is there a solution? Is there a remedy? How can the Rockies win at Coors Field? And 33 years is a long time, and they just have not been able to figure anything out. And maybe there's not a way to go about it. I don't know. I think you can ask a lot of different baseball people, and I don't know that you may get 7 different answers. So anyways, it was just my feelings on, what do the Rockies do as an organization? Which way do they go? What plan should they have? And what plan would work there? Or is there a plan that would work there? If there's not, that's not good. And one last thing on the Colorado situation. You got to give their fans credit. The ballpark, I don't know if you've ever been there. The ballpark is great. It's in a fun area of Denver. There's a lot of bars and restaurants right around there. I've been there many times. It's a fun area. You can go out after the game and there's stuff going on, and you can. It's a good place. It's a good spot, right? And the ballpark itself is very nice, and the people still show up there. Rockies fans are pretty good. You got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, this year alone, they're going to lose 100 games for the 3rd consecutive year, as I just said. They're averaging over 30,000 a game. So the fans like to go. And if you look at their attendance, even the last 3-4 years where they have not been very good, you're talking 2.5 million, 2.6 million, 2.7 million. That's pretty good attendance. I know some teams that would like to have that kind of attendance. So the point is I think it's a decent baseball town. The fans come out, and they really come out when the team is good. The times that they have been good, the Coors Field is a terrific atmosphere. So the fans deserve some credit because they hang in there and they do draw pretty well for the struggles that they have had. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on baseball in Colorado. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's check the comments, see if anybody's checking in. All right. We like to get everybody involved. Yeah, that Gilbert kid is some kind of crazy, Shashawn. Yes, he is. And it's fun to watch. But it's the kind of thing that fans like, right? I mean, fans like to see this. And that's what I think is great about a player like this, because it makes you feel like you're almost watching a college game. Bake the Dough, check it in. So many Coors Field memories, but Dwayne's call of Ryan Spielberg's walk-off grand slam in 09 stands out. That's a great call. In fact, I have a Coors Field memory. That's going to be our next segment. And I thought about that, Bake the Dough. So we are, as always, thinking along the same lines, but it is one of my favorite calls of my brother. Because I just think about it. You remember it? I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, Ryan Spielberg hits a walk-off grand slam. The Giants had scored like 4 runs in the top of the 10th or something like that. And here come the Rockies in the bottom of the 10th. And the ball was hit, and my brother just said, "This is not good, folks." And it was not good. It was pretty good, but Bake the Dough, that's terrific, terrific knowledge and terrific memory. But we'll see if you remember my Coors Field memory, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Our good friends at the New York Giants Preservation Society, Gilbert, best case scenario, earns him starting nod in the outfield next year. Worst case scenario, 4th outfield, who takes over a position that Yaz should have always occupied, regardless, a major leaguer, I feel. All right, well, let's see. Again, it's a small sample size. We need to see a lot more of Gilbert to he's only been here for a couple weeks, but he is fun to watch. And there's a fire there that I like to see. I don't know that you could have 9 guys like that, but he plays with some fire. And I think the veteran guys are having some fun with it. So yeah, hey, it's good to talk about. That's why we do this show. We have fun talking about it. Okay, so I want to go to hold on a minute. I want to go to my Coors Field memory. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if you guys remember this game. Okay. 1998. Okay. 1998. Think back a ways with me. We're going back in time just for a while. The Giants are fighting for a wild card spot. Remember, the wild card had just come into play a couple years before that. In fact, it started in 1995. So this was the 4th year of the wild card. Each league got one wild card team, and that put 4 teams from each league into the postseason. So it was basically whoever had the best record, whatever non-division winner had the best record. Okay, that was the wild card. So see if you guys remember this. I was there for the weekend. I was working for the Giants. I was the sideline reporter. And the deal was the Giants go into Coors Field for the final weekend of the season, and they are fighting with the Chicago Cubs for the wild card spot. I mean, we're talking right down to the wire, okay? Giants win the first 2 games of the series. They win Friday night, they win Saturday night. They've won 6 in a row. They're playing great baseball, and they got a 1-game lead over the Cubs for the wild card. That's all they need to do is win on Sunday, win the season finale at Coors Field, and they go to the postseason as the National League's wild card team, right? Everybody remember this? Here you do. So what happens? Sunday, I'm there as the sideline reporter, and the Giants win and they clinch the trip to the postseason. You know how that goes. You send a guy into the clubhouse. He does interviews. He gets, it's a mess in there, but everybody's partying. They're going to the postseason. So I'm going in there to do the interviews. Yeah, I mean, you know how that works. So everything is going beautifully. The Giants take a 7-0 lead after 5.5 innings. Now we know it's Coors Field. Weird stuff very well may happen, but you're feeling good. They've won 6 in a row. They know what's at stake. It's a 7-0 lead, right? Well, guess what? Soon enough, it's tied 8-8. So it's an 8-8 game going to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies have come all the way back. So, but I'm thinking, listen, the Giants are still playing for something big. The Rockies aren't. You know, Giants are going to we're going to win this thing. It just may take extra innings. So I go down the elevator. I get in the elevator, go down the elevator. Now I'm going to go to the clubhouse. I'm going to wait for them to win. They're going to start coming in. I'm going to be down there and I'm going to start interviewing guys, right? You all know how it works. You've seen it on TV when teams clinch. So the Giants don't score in the top of the 9th inning. So I'm saying I need to get down there just to be ready. Things are going to happen. You know, they're going to win in the 10th inning or whatever. Giants bring Rob Nen in. Rob Nen, terrific closer, one of the best closers in Giants history. And that was his first year with the Giants, and he was really good that year. I mean, he was awesome, right? So they bring him in the 9th inning. So he's finishing his warm-up tosses as I get on the elevator to go down to the clubhouse, okay? So I get on the elevator. I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get set up. Great. It's going to be extra innings. Fine. Nen's going to get through the bottom of the 9th. Boom. Down the elevator where I can't hear anything, right? Because I'm in the elevator. Way underneath. Now I get out of the elevator. I got about 100 feet to walk to the clubhouse. As I come around the corner of the clubhouse, come around the corner to walk into the clubhouse, right before I start walking in, I see Giants players walking up the steps. And I'm completely confused. I'm like, wait, I just got in the elevator and Rob Nen was warming up. Down, and now I'm looking and I'm like, what is going on? But I know that it's not good. And I know I can't go in the clubhouse because it's pretty clear they didn't win. So now I kind of back off and I'm just watching. And now I'm seeing all the players come in and it's not a good scene. Nafi Perez on the second pitch that Rob Nen threw in the bottom of the 9th inning hit a home run. Seriously. Nafi Perez hit a home run off Rob Nen. The Rockies win the game 9-8. And what happens then? Now the Giants finish tied with the Chicago Cubs for the wild card spot. All the Giants had to do was to hang on to a 7-0 lead. Nafi Perez. It's like Bucky Dent. Nafi Perez. What happens? The Giants then have to go to Chicago to play the Cubs for the play-in game to see who wins the wild card. Giants go there. They lose 5-3. The Cubs make the postseason. The Giants do not. And I'll never forget, it was from the time I got in the elevator to the time I walked to the door of the clubhouse was probably a minute and a half. And in that time period, I couldn't hear anything because I'm in the elevator. Nafi Perez hit the home run, and that basically ended the Giants season. They still had a chance, but they went to Chicago. I'll never forget that. Do you guys remember that game? I'm curious to see. I'm sure many of Giants fans remember that. I also have one other memory from Denver. In 1993, that was the Rockies' first year in existence. And if you remember correctly, the Rockies played their first 2 years at Mile High Stadium. It's where the Broncos played. We've all seen it many times. It's not there anymore. But it was also a baseball stadium because they had a AAA team for many, many years. The Denver Bears, I believe they were called. So the stadium actually, you could, it slid back, kind of like the old stands at Candlestick Park in right field. Well, that's what happened at Mile High Stadium. They were able to slide the big section of seats back, and they played AAA baseball there for many, many years. That's how the Rockies played their first 2 years, 1993 and 1994. In 1993, their first year there, they set the major league record for attendance. The Rockies did. They drew 4.48 million fans. That's a major league record. They averaged 55,350 fans per game. Think about that. Mile High is huge. It's a football stadium, right? So I went there to work. It was in July. Giants go there for a 3-game weekend series. Giants and the Rockies. Rockies' first year of existence. So I was excited because I wanted to see the Rockies and the Giants, and I was working and all that. And I'll never forget this. 3 games, end of July. On Friday night, the attendance was 71,710. Friday night, Giants, Rockies at Mile High Stadium, 71,000. On Saturday, 72,208 was the attendance. And on Sunday, the final game of the 3-game series, 72,431. 3 straight games of over 71,000 at Mile High Stadium. I'll never forget that. It was awesome. And they were into it, right? They had a team. They had their own team. But those are my 2 memories of baseball in Colorado. One, not great, unfortunately, for the Giants in 1998. But I remember that first year, and Rockies fans were into it. And why not? They had a team. But I remember going there, and that was 93. Giants were good. Barry Bonds was a big deal. Bonds hit a couple of home runs the first night. I remember 71,000 people booing Barry Bonds. So that was fun. That was a really cool memory that I have of baseball in Denver and being there for what was a pretty special thing. So anyways, a couple of Coors Field Denver memories for you. I want to see if anybody else remembers that. Let's see. Yeah, it said Larry Walker was a demon against the Giants. Larry Walker was a demon against everybody. I mean, he was like a stud. G-Man Music says, still ticked off the Rockies couldn't win 1 game against the Braves in 1993. Very fair. Very fair. The Braves swept the season series against the Rockies, and we all know what happened in 93 and how close the Giants were. Yeah, we do remember that. Bake the Dough says, Nafi Perez, 2004, Forever Giant. Nafi Perez off Rob Nett. I remember Ponson, who was acquired at the trade deadline in 2003 through a 2-hitter at Coors, and we all thought that we had a legitimate 1-2 going into the 2003 playoffs. Cindy Ponson. And my good friend Dan Cocamilio says, Glenn, you're being viewed from Taiwan. That's perfect. Dan, that's my favorite comment I've had today. Hello from Taiwan. I think that's awesome. Wow, that's very cool. Thanks, Dan. And let's get together, Dan, because we need to do a show at some point. So Dan does his own show on the Giants, and he's terrific. So Dan Cocamiglio. All right. So I want to finish the show with the awards that I do, and we'll get through this just for fun. But again, end of each month, I tell you who I think the front runners are for the 4 awards: AL MVP, NL MVP, Cy Young. Okay. So it's a 2-man race in the AL MVP. I think everybody knows that. Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh. It's a great baseball topic. Everybody's thinking, who do you pick? Who do you pick? Some like Raleigh, some like Judge. I don't know. What do you do? Aaron Judge, 324, 43 homers, 97 RBIs. He's got the best WAR in the league. He leads the American League in average runs on-base percentage, slugging percentage, obviously OPS as well. In August, he had 6 home runs. He's doing mostly DHing. He's got the bad elbow. So listen, that's the numbers for Judge. Now, here's Cal Raleigh. What do? He's hitting 240, but he's got 50 homers and 107 RBIs. Obviously, first in the league in both those categories. He's 4th in WAR, and this is interesting to me. In July, Cal Raleigh hit 194. In August, he hit just 173, but still the production was there. He had 8 homers. He had 19 RBIs. He has slowed down a little bit, but not a huge amount. He's not a high average hitter. He's probably not going to hit 300. That's why overall he's hitting 240 on the year. He's caught 102 games. He's been the DH in 31 games. So that gives you an idea about the workload and the catching thing. He's a very, very good catcher. So this is the tough one because I've initially I was Judge, and then the next month it was Judge. And then I know last month I still picked Judge, but I said the gap is very close. I think the gap is still close. I still think if I was picking or if I had a vote, I'd pick Judge still. But yeah, this is a tough one. So I'm going to stay with Judge, but the gap to me is even closer. And I know I said the same thing last month, but that's how close these two are. But it's a great baseball conversation. I say that a lot because I love baseball conversation. And this is a good one. Who's the American League MVP? Is it Judge or is it Raleigh? Right now, I'm sticking with Aaron Judge. But that doesn't mean that it could change. It could definitely change by the end of the season. One more month. But Cal Raleigh deserves a lot of credit because he's been sensational. But Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. So that's my pick there. So National League MVP. Another one, I think the candidate list has shrunk. Okay. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani is there. He's always there. 276, 45 homers, 85 RBIs for Ohtani. First in the league in OPS. First in slugging, on and on. He had a pretty good August. He had 306 in August, 7 home runs. I'd like to see what guys did the particular month that we just finished. As a pitcher for the year, Ohtani he's made 11 starts, 32 innings total. He is ramping up. He pitched 5 innings in his last start. So I don't know that he's dominated yet as a pitcher. Okay. And I felt like last month, if he pitches the way he can pitch, and he's pretty darn good when he's right and healthy, and he's healthy, but he's still trying to get back in the groove. If he pitches well in September, because he's going to hit, then you have the two-way player thing, and I just don't know that you can pick anybody else. But he hasn't yet turned it up as a pitcher. Okay. The other guy in the conversation now is Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber's hitting 247, but he's got 49 home runs and 119 RBIs. So he leads the National League in those two categories. His WAR is 4.4. Ohtani's WAR is 5.4, if you're into the WAR thing. But Schwarber in July hit 12 home runs, had 29 RBIs. In August, had 12 home runs and 33 RBIs. He has been a monster. Okay. So to me, Ohtani and Schwarber are now the two guys. I've been a big advocate of Pete Crow Armstrong every month because his numbers are really, really good. In fact, his WAR number is first in the National League, but he has struggled some as of late. The numbers are still very good. I'm just not sure that he is a MVP candidate anymore. Doesn't mean he's not having a terrific season. I love the guy as a player. Corbin Carroll has come out of nowhere. Look at Corbin Carroll's numbers. He has been sensational for Arizona. He's not going to win it, but you know what? He's going to get votes now. He is in my conversation. Pete Alonso's had a great year. He's got over 100 RBIs. He's just a mashing machine, right? He's in the conversation. But I still think it's Ohtani and Schwarber as the two favorites. And right now, I would pick Kyle Schwarber because he has been so good lately. The only way that this could change is if Schwarber struggles and Ohtani has a big month of September, including pitching. Okay. And the only thing that bothers me about the National League MVP thing, the race, and right here I'm talking, is the two candidates who I think are the top two candidates, and I think most people feel that way. They're both designated hitters. I'm not crazy about that. And I've said all along, I've said it many times. In my opinion, the only way a designated hitter can win the award is if his numbers are just clearly better than everybody else's. That's the way I've always felt. And Ohtani has won the award, I think 3 of the last 4 years, but he's won that because he's pitched. Okay. And the years that he's been hurt and he hasn't pitched, his numbers have been significantly better than everybody else's. In a perfect world, I don't want an MVP to be a designated hitter. But in this case, these two guys are pretty special. So right now, I would pick Kyle Schwarber. So that should make the Phillies fans happy. Anyways. All right. American League Cy Young. Another race that I think has come down to two people. The candidate list has shrunk. It's Tarek Skubal and Garrett Crochet. And I don't know that I just don't see anybody else statistically that's with these two guys. Skubal is 12-4, 2.18 ERA. Crochet is 14-5, 2.40 ERA. And listen to this. Skubal is first in ERA. Crochet is third. Skubal is first in innings pitched. Crochet is second by 1 inning. Skubal is first in strikeouts with 216. Crochet is second in strikeouts with 214. That's how close these two guys are. In August, they were both 2-1. This is going to come right down to it. Right now, if I had to do a vote, I would do Skubal. He won it last year, but this is pretty much a toss-up for me. Statistically, it's a toss-up. I just read the numbers for you, and if there's intangibles out there that could sway one either way, I mean, both are pitching for playoff teams. So I don't know. This is as tight as a race. It's even more tight to me than I think the American League MVP thing. Skubal, Crochet could be either. I would go with Skubal, but that it could be the other guy too. It's that close. Look up the numbers. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So let's go with Skubal, and then let's this last one's a tough one. The National League Cy Young. I'm telling you, Wheeler's out. Wheeler was probably the favorite, maybe, but he's hurt, and it doesn't look like he's coming back. So now the list is wide open. Okay, and I have 6 people down. I don't know that all of them necessarily have a chance to win it, but it's close. Some may take votes away from other guys. I don't know. I started with Christopher Sanchez, the left-hander with the Phillies. 11-5 with a 2.66 ERA. That ERA is 4th in the National League. He's 2nd in innings pitched. He's 6th in strikeouts, but he has a 6.4 WAR. That is the best. That is the best in the National League. Sanchez is a legitimate candidate. He won a couple games in August, but he pitched extremely well. Logan Webb, I don't think he's going to win it. I don't know that he's a top 1 or 2 candidate, but his numbers are there. He's 12-9. He's got a 3.16 ERA, so the ERA is 9th in the National League. But here's where he gets some votes. He's first in innings pitched, Webb, and he's tied for second in strikeouts. So that's where Webb's going to get a little help. And I said it with my good friend Marty Lurie over the weekend. Webb's going to start tomorrow. If he could get to 15 or 16 wins and pitch well, maybe an outside shot, but more than likely not. Paul Skeens is 9-9 with a 2.05 ERA, best ERA in the National League. He's third in innings pitched. He's tied with Webb for strikeouts, second in the league. Skeens, I think, is still the front runner. And then I put down Nick Pivetta from the Padres, who's quietly having a great year. Pivetta is 13-4 with a 2.84 ERA. That's pretty darn good. And a guy who has crept into the conversation is Freddie Peralta from the Brewers. Freddie Peralta is 16-5 with a 2.58 ERA. That's the second best ERA in the National League. He's 11th in innings pitched and 8th in strikeouts. But Freddie Peralta, listen to this. In the month of August, he was 4-0 with a 0.32 ERA. He made 5 starts and allowed 1 earned run in 28 innings. Freddie Peralta is now in the conversation, I think. And my 6th candidate is Matthew Boyd, good left-hander from the Cubs. He's 12-7, 2.94 ERA, but I don't think Boyd is probably not in the top 4 or 5 candidates, but a very good pitcher. So you got Sanchez, Skeens, Webb, Pivetta, Peralta. I don't think I'm missing anybody. But I'm going to go with Paul Skeens still. I think he's the best pitcher in the National League. The Pirates are not good, but I do think he is the best pitcher in the National League. So it'll be interesting to see the numbers that everybody finishes up with. Sanchez is right there. I think Freddie Peralta is right there. If Freddie Peralta wins 18 or 19 games and his ERA stays around 2.5, where he's, second in the National League in ERA, he has to be a possibility. I don't think there's any doubt. But anyways, I'm picking Paul Skeens. So I went Skeens and Skubal as the 2 Cy Young Award winners, and I went Judge and Schwarber as the 2 MVPs. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but that's my choices. We'll do this one more time at the end of the season. So anyways, that's the show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. We covered a whole bunch of things. Giants with a great win today. We know where they stand. I like to say they're in the country of where they need a miracle. But that's okay. You never know. 5 games back, and the Mets are in Detroit, so we'll keep an eye on that the next 2 days. Giants have 2 more games at Colorado. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, check out my YouTube channel. There's a lot of good stuff. The guys are doing a great job getting videos out, and I certainly hope, as always, you're enjoying our shows because, hey, we enjoy talking to you, and we enjoy how you guys have joined the show as subscribers, and it's pretty cool. I wish I could meet each and every one of you. So before we go, let's check in with our sponsors one last time. The Kehrig Real Estate Team, whether you're moving up, downsizing, or making your first home purchase, trust the Kehrig Real Estate Team to guide you home. Give the Kehrig Real Estate Team a call and ask for Mike at 925-548-4132. And the website is kehrigteam.com. And Tilden Properties, go to their website. It's tildenproperties.com, or give them a call at 925-209-8558. By investing with Tilden Properties, you're going to see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. They're Bay Area based and family owned. Tilden Properties has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. So Tilden Properties and the Kehrig Real Estate Team, thank you very much. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to come your way Wednesday with a post-game edition of the Glen Kuiper Show All Giants after the Giants Rockies series. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you down the road for another edition of the Glen Kuiper Show All Giants. Have a good one, everybody.